Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, June 17th, 2024, Virtual Strangers 215 is on the air. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Happy Monday, sir.
Yeah, happy late Father's Day. Happy Monday. You know what's funny is 215 doesn't sound that high, but that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's crazy, especially since that's only the numbered episodes, right?
Right. 215 numbered episodes. That doesn't count Game of the Month. That doesn't count Strangers in the Night. And when you consider that we typically go 2.5 to 3 hours on each one of these, that's a whole lot of hours talking VR, Roots, over the course of the last 5 or so years.
We're experts at talking about it. I don't know about experts in the field. You are probably, but they say, 10,000 hours? If you do something for 10,000 hours, you're considered an expert, supposedly. Something like that.
I wonder if I can bring the stats up really quickly here. Let me see how easy that is to get to. Analytics, subtitles. There we go. Analytics, overview. All right, so that's 28 days. Can I switch this to
all time?
Lifetime. All right, lifetime statistics. Well, that's watch time. We've had a grand total of 840,000 views over that span. 492,000 watch time hours.
That's a lot of hours.
It is a lot of hours. You know how little we make from week to week from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Our estimated lifetime revenue is over $6,000.
Oh wow. Lifetime. And if we took a long time growing to the point where we could actually do any revenue, right? So
right, yeah. So I don't know. I can't really see how much time our content adds up to. Let me see. Content. Average view duration is 40 minutes, which is awesome. Even big YouTubers try to get half that and fail. Impressions, which is one of those cool new wage analytics words. We've had over 13 million impressions.
I don't even know what that is. It said it's not like 13 million Dogecoin or something. Somebody in the chat said a GameCat photo nutter said, "What? No crackling?" I know, this is the thing, man. I was like, we are gonna get some quality troubleshooting in. And then I remembered, oh, fuck, Wes fixed his problem. And son of a bitch, man. But yeah, no, it sounds good. No crackling.
I can switch back to the broken setup if we want to do that.
Yeah, we could do that in real time. Actually, probably not, because you got to switch over.
So here's the thing. Like, I suspect that that was an issue with drivers. That's the leading theory on it. I am streaming now, and as was the case on Saturday, from my older Windows installation. So this is my hard drive from my computer before I rebuilt it. I boot that up. I use this version of Windows. Everything works fine. I use the newer version of Windows, and everything's crackly and broken, which tells me that it is 100% software. If it was something wrong with my USB or my sound card or my power supply, it would be universal across.
You need a USB PCI Express. No, just kidding. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I mean, you could fix it. Yeah, you just eventually. I mean, the easiest way would be, like you were saying, just to update your driver, see if that's what it is. But just say fuck it and wipe the hard drive and redo it.
Here's the thing, though. Like, it's not like I have a lot of time sitting around here and like testing things. Whenever I do that, which will be soon, we're only going to know if it worked or not when we get on the air and people say that it was fixed or not fixed. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll pick a nice, boring episode to do that on, in case I have to reboot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds good, and we are set.
Distracted says Windows 11 sucks. I'm not running 11. I'm running 10 on
Hmm.
both builds.
You know what's funny?
I'm
I've been using Windows 11 for a couple of years now, and I've had no issues, and I like the features, and I get it. I was the same way with going from what was before Windows 10, not
7.
7.
It was
Yeah.
7. It
Well,
was 7
there
to
was
10,
8,
yeah.
but 8 was we won't talk about 8. It was kind of like the redheaded stepchild that everybody hated. But I dragged my feet going to 10, and then I dragged my feet going to 11. And you know what? I dragged my feet going to 11 so much that instead of getting it for free, like for a year, they gave it away. I ended up having to buy it because when I did want to get it, it wasn't free anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The place I get my Windows keys from, it's just like $15 or something like that. So
Yeah,
I'm
for a
not real
one-time deal.
concerned about that. I
Not too bad.
always like to wait as long as I can.
For bugs. Yeah.
For bugs, right? Exactly. Plus, it seems like every time they release a new window, there's like this like critical security failure that will totally make everything on your computer completely vulnerable, and people freak out about it, and then everyone forgets that there's this critical security thing, and it's on 10 as well. By the way, the last one I remember was something that would have to be fixed in only BIOS updates,
Oh, wow.
and they were months away from fixing it. So like, I don't even know if that ever got fixed.
What kind of
The data.
shitty world we live in anyway? Like, how do you buy this computer, you put Windows on there, and I guess, I don't know, Linux would probably be the answer. I don't know. You have to get this update. Like, we're at their mercy, and we're at Nvidia's mercy, whatever cards mercy you have. Like, these drivers updates, if they stopped coming or if they started fucking things up, doing weird stuff, like, yeah, you can roll them back, and it kind of sucks that we have this system where you're constantly having to update. I get it. We want to have protections, but I'm not too thrilled about some of the new updates they're talking about doing. So
what it is they build themselves in backdoors and shit, and then the hackers find it when they're not supposed to.
Oh yeah, well then you know what you're right. So Microsoft, Windows, stop building the backdoors to fuck us over, and then we won't get hacked. So
chat already filling out pretty nice. I see our friend Gamertag.
Hey, what's up, Gamertag?
GT? D's in the house. SpryGuy. See some familiar faces here. Hello, everyone. Ruuts, I woke up yesterday, and the first thing, a lot of the time, the first thing I do is just grab my phone and scroll it. And yesterday, I wake up, I grab it, I click on Twitter. I'm not even fully awake yet, and I see this post from PlayStation UK, and I haven't talked to you about this yet to see what you think about this, but this tweet, it reads like this: when you're mean to me online, this is who you're being mean to. P.S. The new update for Astro's Playroom is extremely cute. And look at this video, Ruuts. It's the Astrobot on this hanging PSVR 2 headset doing this. I mean, that's the "Who's Your Daddy" dance, right? Like this dude's like humping your mom and smacking her on the ass, isn't he?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
So so I couldn't believe this when I saw it, Ruuts. I literally could not believe that they would tweet something like this out. Either one, they're taunting us now, Ruuts, or two, they're just so fucking oblivious to what's going on social media that they just by chance made the dumbest tweet of all time. And given what the caption says, when you're mean to me online, this is who you're being mean to. I can't believe that this is an accident. What do you think?
It doesn't seem like it's an accident to me. I'm just surprised that I'm not seeing people out there saying that it's clearly a hidden signal that
there's a few.
because that was my first thought, is like, okay, somebody's gonna, but I mean, because it's not just the headset, the controller's sitting there on the ground as well. If you notice right at the very beginning on the left hand side, you can see the controller sitting there. So
Yeah.
like they've got the PSVR 2 sitting right there. It could be kind of what we were saying, a kind of a, like not a, maybe not a hidden symbol, but or signal, but just saying, look, guys, when you're mean to me online, this is you're being mean to, it's coming. And I'm not saying that that's the
Yeah.
case, but this
No.
is
No.
one more thing that could feed into that narrative, to
Yeah.
give people hope.
Yeah, there are, so since we talked about this last week, there's been an interview with the head of Team Asobi, PlayStation Studios, and he pretty much said this is not coming to PSVR 2. It's not. It was never considered. They say that platformers are not the type of game that you can make into a hybrid, that it would need to be like a first person shooter or something that works for that, but it doesn't work for platformers. And
Dude, fucking play Crash Bandicoot or any of these games we've been playing recently. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit I ever heard. People saw that and blew up. And I think that this might be a response to that. But you're right. There are still some people that are still in denial. Most people get it now. Most people understand. If you scroll down the comments here, you can tell that most people get it now. Most people are fucking angry. But there are a few people there that it just hasn't sunk in yet that this is not happening. We're not getting this game.
Here's the thing. I didn't hear about the interview of what you were saying. And if he said that it's not coming, then you like, dude, it's not like they're not going to come out and say it's not like a one more trickaroo, hey, I'm going to fool you one more time. They would just not say anything and then it might come out. And that was like a fucking Hail Mary hope, crossing your fingers, hopium thing. But if he came out and said it's not for PlayStation VR 2, it's not for PlayStation VR 2. And then I don't think that this is an accidental thing. This is like a big slap in the face. Like he's on a fucking PSVR 2 headset. Like I said, the controllers are right there. So
yeah. And the funny thing is I never noticed what the dance was because this was the update to Astro's Playroom the week before, the thing that everyone was taking as a sign. And I remember saying, well, why is the headset hanging up like that? Is that a clue? And I remember seeing the little guy dancing on top, but I never paid attention to the actual dance that he was doing, which just makes me think that it was a jab all along. Like, you know what I mean? The reason they put it in there so quickly and had him doing this little dance was just to laugh at people.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope
I'm wrong. It seemed that's what it really, really feels like.
Well, I hope you're wrong as well, but either way, it's just one more sign that Sony's not. I don't want to say they're not supporting VR because it's out there.
No.
I just think, like Mash was saying a few weeks ago, it's just going to be up to the developers to make something, because clearly Sony's not really interested in doing anything extra. Like they'll do what they have to do. It's out there. They're going to support it, but they're not going above and beyond. And the reason why this isn't in VR, people don't understand it, but clearly business wise, the headset and games hasn't made enough money where Sony has felt like it was worth continuing down that road, which is very odd.
This is the weird thing, man, because this game has been in development for like 5 years or something like that. And Nicholas Duche said that it was never a consideration to make this VR game. Like they never even thought about it for a moment. Like this was always intended to be flat, and you can't do both, according to this guy.
I think he's lying. I think he's full shit. You know what I mean? Because right. I don't think that would be the case. Because 5 years ago, where were we in the PSVR cycle? Yeah, PSVR 1. I guess maybe we were all delusional with PSVR 1 that whole time and thinking, and they never really thought it was doing that good to begin with. Because
to be fair, PSVR 1 library was awesome. It was my favorite library of the generation. Much like this PSVR 2 library, it's where all of the best exclusives were at. and there weren't a lot of first party titles even then. Like we got a few, we got Astrobot and Golem and a few, but it was mostly third party um, support, which made PSVR 2 or PSVR 1 a special platform. Um, People were just expecting more this generation. That's all. People were expecting Sony to take another step and support it directly more this generation, and they just haven't done that. I mean, I don't want to short sell what they've done here. They did launch with two big name first party exclusives. They never did anything like that for PSVR 1. We didn't get grand. I mean, we got GT Sport with a single player time trial mode. You know what I mean? For
Right.
PSVR 1, we didn't get the full game in VR. But they never gave us anything like Horizon on PSVR 1 or any of that. So it's not like they're not supporting the headset. There are great third party titles that they funded. There are third party titles coming that are exclusive. We're going to talk about one in just a few minutes that look great. People just expected more, and it's starting to seem like the future that we had envisioned for the platform might not come to fruition. Doesn't mean it won't be great. Doesn't mean that it won't be the best native VR platform. It just means it isn't going to be what we expected it to be just yet.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole idea that you can't. I mean, they did. They made a game, a hybrid game. That game that they made before, with the exception of using your head and a track controller, could have been
Right.
done. It could have been hybrid, and they were the ones that was talking about hybrid games a few years ago and bringing them in. I just think they're full of
Yeah,
shit. I think that
that's
they
something
know
else
that they could
too.
clearly this could be done in both, and just like I said, we just proved it with two titles at least, with Crash Bandicoot and with the Little Big Planet Sackboy. There's nothing that felt like that wasn't VR. They could give us the exact same game and let us slum it without all the extras, and they could have done that. And maybe they just thought that the PlayStation VR community is too knee jerk reactionary, that wouldn't be enough for them. And they're probably right. People would probably skewer them for that. As much as we
Yeah.
say we want it now, if they said, "Look, we're going to give you the same game, but you're gonna have your controller. It's not tracked. Your head's not in it. There's nothing extra special about VR. It'd be like Hitman all over again." People would be bitching, and even
That's
though that was
true.
PC, and it just kind of sucks because I've said this before, but I kind of feel like as a community, the VR community, we're part of the problem that's in some ways holding VR back. So
Well, people are certainly taking a different approach this time around and making their voices heard and letting the developer know that they're not happy about it. And judging by the message in correspondence like this, I don't think that the message is quite landing just yet. So keep telling them, people. Tell them what you think about this bullshit. I know I have been.
yeah, it just makes you
Um,
wonder. I mean, how? I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't support a PSVR 3, but it makes me question if they're not fully in this generation, what makes me want to jump into the next one? Just being realistic, I'm sure I would, but like it just makes me question if they're not really into it now. Like, am I going to go through a whole new cycle, hoping and wishing, and then be disappointed again?
right.
So I don't know.
It's the same thing that happens like when people pre-order things enough and end up getting burnt. It's the same thing. Like people, I think people will buy in the PSVR 3 just like they bought in the PSVR 2. Only now, people are going to be more skeptical about it. They're not just going to assume that that this is the time that VR is going to get pushed into the mainstream. They'll take more of a wait and see approach next time around, um, versus everyone just seeing those big launch titles and assuming that that's how the whole cycle is going to be.
I think Sony, a lot of things happened that screwed them in a way with COVID and delays and everything else. And then so that
That's
was
true.
bad enough. And then Sony came out and seemingly made every wrong decision at every turn. And then it was like compounded, right? Instead of like fixing things and fixing fires and making things better, it just continued to go down. And then because they don't ever do any advertising, they don't do anything extra, then they point to it and say, look, it's not making money. It just irritates me.
Yeah, irritates a lot of people. Anyways, lots of cool stuff coming to PSVR 2. We're going to talk about some of that here today, but first, let's kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in the chat. Mark Pringlesleaf is here. Parasite 82 Green is here as well. Steve IRE. Slapnuts is here. Melchiah, the Soul Reaving Game Cat, is here. Hussein X here as well. Let's see. Nihilus Ryan is here. The Game Feline. What's up, Ryan? He says, I wish Sony would just listen to those of us who keep saying hybrid. I on it again. You know, I hear this all the time that people tweeting out saying stuff like, "Where are the hybrids you promised us, Sony?" Sony never said hybrid. They never mentioned it publicly, not one time. That was a leak from a developer summit, and that was a concept that was pointed to third-party developers. They were telling their third-party partners, "This is what we want you to focus on." And we've seen some of these games, and I imagine we'll see more of them. Again, everyone just assumed that Sony would, practice what they preach and also be putting out hybrid titles as well. And we got Gran Turismo, the one, but we're still waiting on the number two.
How crazy is it? You know who else is waiting on the number two? How crazy is it that the hybrid that they didn't give us in Astrobot was for the you would have thought that it was like, oh, sorry, flat gamers, you don't get this. It was like, no, sorry, you guys, we know this is your IP, but we're gonna give it to the flat gamers that have everything else, and we're gonna fuck you.
We're taking it back.
We're taking it back.
Bluebell is here. Vince Virtua is here. Ezek. Bad Robo's here. Cornerstone City 777 is here. Awesome Tatum. Scott the PSVR Game Cat for Life is here.
I'm sick of seeing this fucking dance. 82. I gotta get rid of it.
Yeah,
at least stop him, you know.
Thomas McNostrils here. Techno Glitch is here. Kill Artist 1. Dreamweaver Game Cat. Space Denizen Game Cat. Behemoth. Shapeshifter. The Amorphous Game Cat. Ghost Shot is here. Gamertag VR is here. What's up, GT? Hello again. Hussein X. Radio Runts. Marcosaur. All here. Silver Nexus is here. Game Cat Photo Nutter. Natty What's Up is here. What's up, Natty? Roy Schwartz is here. Left Control Gaming's here. NS Paul, Evan Yabu, all here. Gang Dump is here. You know who loves Gang Dump? Good old Gang Dump Roots.
She loves every kind of dump. I'm trying to see where I thought there was one. I can't only see these. Oh, probable spam. Gamertag, you're probable spam, bro. Apparently. People are asking me to scroll.
Here. Decepticons here. True Prophecy 22. A Wolf in Game Cat Clothing is here as well. Gabriel 004. Marcosaur is here. Rogue TR. Vargosoft. Chinatown D. In the house. Chatty's here. Michelle B is here. David Runs. Wuvane, Mind Jive, NS Paul, James. Hello. Salvador, what up? Looper's here. IA is here. Iowa? Is that Iowa? Iowa's here. Parasite 82, I probably already said hello to 3 times, but hello again. Here. We haven't said hello to already. Traveling Man 3775 is here. Boognish 66. Mr. Lord Beavis. Twitcher the Deuce Juice Game Cat. Not sure Brondo. Paradise Decay. What's up, PD? Inspector Game Cat is here. Mepper's here. Stike the Signosis Game Cat. That Dank Cheese. Q Creator. Brandon VR. All here. And that is as far to the north as we can travel in my window. So who slipped in at the last moment?
I don't know, but these comments, I'm reading them, entertaining as hell, dude. I never saw this thing until today. I don't go on Twitter. I only my going on Twitter as soon as we stopped doing CruCast regularly. I haven't gone on Twitter since because that was my reason to go there, was to look at the chat.
Let's see. Vince Virtue was here. Jeremiah slipping in. JPEG Q. Regos Pantaleon is here. Ryan, Nihilus Ryan, with the $5 US donation, says, thanks for making our Mondays suck a little bit less. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. We do what we can, sir. Destiny 11's slipping in as well. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate all of you and glad to be back on yet another Monday. Roots, good sir, let's get it on. Bring the story up so I can read it.
It's not the part that is supposed to be up.
There we go. PSVR 2's upcoming World War II flight sim shows off new gameplay. This from mixednews.com. Aces of Thunder, the long-awaited flight simulation developed for PlayStation VR 2, is alive and well, as new gameplay shows. On Instagram, Gaijin Entertainment presents Soviet aircraft from the Eastern Front that you'll be able to fly right from the start. These include the Yak-9, which is also flown by Yugoslav partitions, the lighter and more maneuverable Yak-3, and the earlier IL-2 fighter, one of the most famous aircraft in history, nicknamed the Flying Tank by its engineers for its ability to destroy German tanks. Aces of Thunder was announced for PlayStation VR 2 in March 2023. Since then, the studio has been releasing teasers like this. At the end of 2023, it was announced that the development was almost complete. 6 months later, Gaijin has still not announced a release window, but we certainly hope it will be in 2024. The studio promises more details soon about the machines that held back the Luftwaffe in the early stages of the war. This is likely to refer to the Royal Air Force fighters, including the British Spitfire. Okay, Roots. So this is a game, as the article notes, that was announced a little over a year ago. PlayStation VR 2 exclusive. the trailer we just watched was from back then. It was the reveal trailer, and people have been excited about this game from the start because of the gameplay in that trailer and just how awesome it looks. It looks like it's going to be the Ace Combat 7 that everyone always wanted it to be. Um, they gave us an update around the beginning of the year saying that it was almost finished, and then it dropped off the face of the earth, and they haven't really said much since. People have been, wondering if did it get canceled with all of the bad news and stuff we've had lately and the negative sentiment. The naysayers have certainly taken the opportunity to pry at people's insecurities around this one, but thankfully, the studio has now dropped a new gameplay clip. And not only is the game still alive and well, but this thing looks even better than it did at launch, as you can see here. Not only is the in cockpit, um, not only does that look absolutely awesome, but the aircraft you see flying around outside, the level of detail on the ground, this looks like the AAA firefight game that everyone's been waiting for.
Wow. Well, it definitely does. It looks really good. And finally, right? Guess people have been waiting for a while or hoping for this. And
Well, I mean, we did get the Project Wingman last year, and everyone was kind of hoping that would be good, but it was not. It was not good. Um, so this has been everybody's kind of focus since then. We thought we were getting two good ones, um, but nobody really ever had the expectation for Project Wingman that people have for this one. This is
right.
the developer that brought us War Thunder on PC. And again, they've been showing us high detailed visuals since the reveal of this game about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, there's even
Uh,
more, right? So I can't
yeah,
remember. Did you ever pick up HOTUS? Because GT was saying this, or it's just
I don't
somebody in
have
there.
one yet. I haven't had a game convince me to do that yet. I've thought about doing it for Flight Sim, which
Hmm.
I still have yet to try, by the way. And we're going to talk some more about Flight Sim in a minute.
I think you should get
Um,
it. I think you should get it because for me, it made several games I've played night and day difference. One of them was that Star Wars flying game, and if you ever went back and
yeah,
played that again, it's night and day difference to play. I guarantee this would be as well. Um, it's just a really, it's like as much as I was down on the wheel, which I'm not as down on the wheel now that I have a rig and got the wheel from Lincoln Clay. Just shout out to Lincoln Clay again for being so awesome on that. Um, the HOTUS has been like the best extra thing that I've had that I don't use it all the time, but when I do use it, it's been worth it. So
I was looking at one the other day. They had a nice looking HOTUS at the pawn shop. It
hmm,
wasn't very much money, but it was again like I'm looking at this thing like, what am I going to play with it? Like,
there it is.
uh, yeah, right, right. Here it is.
And Flight Sim and there was what was that one other one? Battle. What's that one battle thing? Radio Run and
Oh,
Spry.
you're talking about warplanes. They've got battles over the Pacific. Um, Warplanes has, I think, 3 titles out now, and they just released a new one on PC this past week.
Oh wow.
Or maybe it's this week that it comes out. But there's a new Warplanes out on PC right now, actually.
Oh, nice. Well, and I think that works with it. I was thinking there's a tank type of game. It's an older game on PC, but
Oh,
it's like Battle Zone or Battle
yeah,
something, and that
Battlezone.
that
Probably is
works.
Battlezone.
Yeah, that works really well with the HOTUS as well. And there's a few other games that I've played that were like really good that I just can't think of off the top of my head. So I think it's worth it, especially if you can get it for a relatively cheap price. Why not at least give it a shot, see if it works, and so
Yeah, yeah, it's certainly going to be the way to play something like this. I never liked the virtual HOTUS. It's the same thing like trying to race with a virtual wheel that you can't feel and it's not there. So you're like we were talking about with Downtown Club this past week. Your hands get out of position and you don't know it because you're not looking at your hands, and it just causes all this sort of disconnect between reality and the game. HOTUS seemingly would put an end to that the same way that a wheel and pedal puts an end to that for racing.
Yeah.
Um, with that said, I am a big fan of the Sony motion controllers and the haptics therein, and pretty excited about that end of it, as I typically am for any big budget PSVR game that's coming out. Because I mean, not only do you have the controllers, you've got the headset rumble. They're about to roll out B haptics support for PlayStation VR 2, native B haptics support. Um, I mean, that whole end of it is just a big value add for the platform, and I got to imagine a game like this would be one of the best ways to kind of showcase it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parasite 82 green, 4.99 quid. Right, I'm off to bed. VR lovers, hope you all have an ace rest of the week. We'll replay this episode tomorrow whilst I work. Thank you, Parasite Green, for being so awesome. Have a good night. JPEG Q, $2 US, says, I can't stay long. I'm visiting Dad soon. Much love, money sign.
Say hi to Dad for us. And you know who else wants to say hi to Dad?
My mom!
Yeah, she does. Don't let him. Don't let her do it.
Thank you. Thank you, JPEG Q. Thank you for everyone for the support. You guys are awesome. We got 2 new Patreons we'll be shouting out this week or later in the show. Roots, we lost one. We lost another long-standing patron this week, but we got 2 new ones to make up for it. So
never makes
good. But
it never makes sense. And then I remember the shit world we live in, and like I look at all the prices going up, and like I've gotten rid of a couple patrons, like Patreons that I was a part of recently, or I guess the Luke Ross one. And you know, you just get to times it's like you have to make a decision, right? Like, I need to put that money somewhere else. We understand it. And you know what? I'll put a challenge out there to anybody out there that isn't a patron or was a patron and had to get out of the patrons, being a Patreon member. Just share the podcast. Like it. That's enough. That's all we need. You don't even need to give us any money. I appreciate it.
Just keep showing up. Just keep showing up and participating. That's all I need, because I have this mental problem, Roots, where like, so when a new patron comes in, they now give them an entry questionnaire and ask them, why are you joining? And typically people will say something to the effect of, I want to financially support the creator, or I've been a long time viewer, I just want to contribute, these sorts of things. But they never ask them why they're leaving. So when these guys leave that have been part of our community for so long, I don't care about the money. Like, the money's great. We use it to buy game keys primarily. Sometimes we'll buy hardware. We use it to buy a lot of giveaway stuff. So I don't really care about that. But I'm thinking to myself, did I say something? Did I piss this person off? Well, I know it's probably not that.
I'm sure I said something probably.
Logically, I know that's not it, but I've got this problem. It's like the same thing when I scroll down the stats, and I always see the thumbs down over there, and I wonder what's this guy? Why didn't he like it? What did we not do? So if you are someone who has to stop your Patreon support, that's fine. Just show up in the chat for a time or two. Let me know that you're not mad at me. You don't even have to say it. Just your presence will be enough to put my neurotic self-doubt to sleep.
Yeah. I kind of feel. I'm the same way. I don't know. I like the success. I like to see that everybody's happy. So, but yeah, no. And I keep meaning to do this, and I will probably for the next one, to at least start the show. Maybe I'll just start having a thing pop up and not even say anything. Because really, like I said last time, we mentioned joining, subscribing at the very end of a 2.5 hour episode, and everybody that's there, if you're not subscribed, I now I'm really am questioning your soul, because it's a long time to sit there and not be subscribed. So I'm pretty sure everybody is. So the ones in the beginning we need to grab, right? So
we could probably put that as just an animation at the front of the first scene or whatever, and just forget about it. Yeah. Bluebell says, no, Wes, people just go through rough times. You guys are great. See, I know this. My logical mind knows this, but I always go through this initial period of like, what did I do? I tell a lot of off-color jokes, Roots, and you never know whose toes you're going to step on when
Mm,
you're pushing that line of what's too far and what's not.
yeah, but I
Um,
know your heart, and this is my, and I've said this to you guys, you and Mash off air. I kind of welcome it. Like if somebody's that sensitive that they don't know when we're joking or not, then they're gonna leave, and we'll get someone else to fill it, and it kind of fills the more like-minded atmosphere of people that just want to have fun and it's not take things so seriously, right? So, but people are gonna weed themselves out, and if they're gonna miss it, they're gonna miss it. They're gonna miss out on the best podcast out there, in my opinion.
here, absolutely. GameCat Photo Nutter says T-Flight HOTUS 4 for PS4, PS5 from Thrustmaster. Thank you for the recommendation. Um, a lot of people sliding in here. PD says Aces of Thunder looks ace,
Yep.
and someone else was saying, yeah, All Hail Rock and Roll says I can't wait for Aces of Thunder. Yeah, man, it looks great. It really does look great. And I'm not a big flight sim guy, but I am a fan of good VR games,
Right.
and this looks like a fucking good VR game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not big into like too many airplane games. I played them back in the day, but I mean, it kind of looks like it. One of the coolest things that could be like when you see it in movies anyway, is when you're shooting a plane and like you clip just a piece of the wing off, right? And then it sends it in a spin or whatever. Like, I hope the physics and everything, it looks like everything's really on point. And just the way things explode and stuff, it looks good.
So I've tried to mentally here to seg my way into the next thing, and I've had to stop myself a few times already. So why don't we just go ahead and roll on into the next topic so that we can continue this conversation?
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 gets a release date. This from Video Games Chronicle. The release date for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has been confirmed. The sequel to 2020's Microsoft Flight Simulator will be released on November 19. It will be available on Xbox Series X, S, and PC, and will be on Xbox Game Pass on day one. The first trailer was shown a year ago, highlighting a greater emphasis on different aviation-based jobs. Jobs confirmed for the game include commercial flight, aerial firefighting, search and rescue, helicopter cargo transport, air ambulance, agricultural aviation, mountain rescue, skydive aviation, aerial construction, industrial cargo transport, remote cargo ops, VIP charter service, air racing, glider pilot, scientific research, experimental flight, low altitude training, executive transport service, airship tour, and routes, hot air balloon trips. When the current Microsoft Flight Simulator was first released for PC in 2020, it was attracted over 1 million players in its first 2 weeks, making it the biggest launch in the series' history, according to Microsoft. A Flight Simulator Top Gun expansion launched in May 2022 to tie in with the release of Top Gun Maverick, and a Dune expansion was released in February to coincide with the release of Dune Part 2 in cinemas. More to follow. So this is cool, Roots. It appears for the first time, at least in my adult life that I can remember, they're actually going to take this flight simulator and gamify it a little bit, and while still keeping it a sim, give you some stuff to do other than just fly around and look out the window.
Yeah, it's exactly what they said. That one of the things that said that it's basically giving you something to do, a purpose in the game, and with all these things. Well, that's one of the things I love. Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I've gone in VR and just flown around, right, taking tours of certain cities or whatever, and it's really cool. But I've kind of felt like there was limitations of what to do, right? Because it is a simulator, and so I think this is cool. I think being able to go up. I've never been up in a hot air balloon. Well, that's not true. I've been to Knott's Berry Farm, but that's not quite the same. But I've never been in an actual hot air balloon, and I think it'd be really cool. My thing that I'm curious about is how well will this run, like how optimized. The other one, 2020, is not only a really, really heavy on your video card, but it's heavy on your processor as well, and your RAM speed. Not how much RAM, but the actual speed has a big influence on how well it runs as well. It's like you have to have a really fine-tuned machine to be able to play it in VR, smoothly. But so I'll be kind of curious to see if this is any different or if it's more optimized, right?
I'm sure it'll be like the other one was at launch. You'll probably need a high-end rig to run it smoothly in VR at first.
I can do it,
which
Wes.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, of course you can. It might not be as big of a jump as it was last time because a lot of the upgrades for this version aren't like visual upgrades. This is more about changing the game and what you do in it than it is giving all of these next gen graphics. As beautiful as this looks, Microsoft 2020 was beautiful as well. And for what it's worth, you don't have to have the highest of end PC to run it. You do have to have a good solid one. But I've been talking to someone who's been playing 2020 just this past week, and he's running on a 4060. I want to say 4060 with a like a mid-grade AMD processor, and it's been running for him, and he loves it. So.
Yeah, no, I ran it when I had a 12700K and a 3080 Ti, and it ran. You'll just have to turn some things down. It won't be as clear as you would like it to be, but it's going to run. And it is, like you said, it's a lot more optimized when it first came out. So my hope is as good as everything looked 4 years ago, I guarantee where the upgrades are going to be is more photorealistic, especially when it comes to like the city buildings and that type of stuff. Because they looked good, but like the more realistic you can even make those look. Because I thought it was cool, man. I've never been to New York City. I would never go to that shithole, but I'd love to visit in this game and flow through it. I flew by the Statue of Liberty. It was cool. I probably
Roy
offended a
Schwartz
couple
says,
people, right?
Roy Schwartz says we're not allowed to go to Epstein Island. How do
Oh,
you know,
well,
bro?
yeah. How do you know I haven't been? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to
Well,
go
I
there,
mean,
to be honest. That's kind of
well, I
creepy.
mean, one of the jobs that they listed here. Let me bring it back up. Executive Transport Service, VIP Charter Service. That sounds an awful lot like child molestation to me.
Yeah, that's right. You could have the. Yeah, I only want adults. I only want adult stewardesses. I don't want any teenagers. Yeah, no, it does. It sounds kind of creepy, but I think it's cool. I guess so. What they said, what, November? So that's not too far away.
No, November, right in time for the holiday season. Everybody's going to be unwrapping their new gaming PCs at that time. We're already seeing an exodus of VR gamers that are whether they're coming from PlayStation or Quest. People are building computers now
Brondo.
um,
Hell yeah.
because of UEVR. So it'll be right in time for everybody to get their rigs built, and then this nice new flight sim will be there for the taking on Game Pass on day one. Game Pass is pretty awesome, man. I did the demo.
Mm.
So I don't even remember what it was for. I guess it was Hellblade 2. I picked it up for, and then I went to cancel it, um, like yesterday, and then I was convinced not to by
I
something else
wonder,
that we're.
I wonder how, oh, by your kids, right? They're like, Dad, you don't want to cancel that.
Oh
We
no,
want, oh,
they don't even know I have it. No,
oh,
it was very much because of UEVR and something else we're going to talk about shortly.
oh.
Um, PD says the Dune or Ornithopter DLC and most of the VR mode does not look as good as the pancake version in
Oh,
some areas.
really?
Um, in some areas. Again, I've been talking to someone who's been playing it. It was blown away by the Dune thing,
Mm.
which I think is awesome. I just watched Dune for the first time last week. I watched the first one and the second one with my daughter, and it was really good. Um, so I think that's cool to be able to fly over Arrakis in one of those. You probably haven't seen it, have you, Roots?
I have not. I have not watched. I keep thinking about watching movies. I watched a movie about an asteroid that was like hitting the Earth or something that came out last year. It's like the first movie I saw in a long time. And
So in Dune, they're on this desert planet that's riddled with these just massive sandworms, and
Tremors.
part of what the sandworms they have like a psychedelic chemical in their body, and they kind of excrete it, and it
Oh,
makes its way up through the sand, and the people in Dune harvest this
oh
right for
God.
different reasons. Like the
Well, I
normal
can think
people
of
like
them. I'd think of good
yeah.
reason for it.
Well, the normal people use it for spiritual enlightenment, of course. The like government, like ruling class types, use it to map out star charts so that they can do like hyperdrive and move through space. I guess psychically map out star charts or something like that. Anyway, they have these helicopter things in Dune, but the wings on them they don't turn. It doesn't have a rotor on it like a helicopter. Instead, the wings are configured like a dragonfly, and they work just like a dragonfly wings. It's like super fast flapping, and it has that same kind of maneuverability that a dragonfly would have, and that's what you can fly in this
Wow.
in this expansion. You can fly those dragonfly copters over the Arrakis Desert.
I need to do it. I have it downloaded. I went back into Flight Sim like a few month or two ago, and I downloaded it. I just never did it, and so I have it on my computer. So that's a big
I'm going to be
fucking
checking it out.
game, Wes. You better have a big file. It's like I don't even know. It's really big.
You know who loves it when it's really big, Ruth?
Oh yeah, she loves it. Really loves it.
I've been convinced. I've been convinced. This dude said that, and I don't, I just don't know if he wants me talking about it and doing this stuff online, or I would just mention his name. But he told me he flew around his house at like some of the local businesses, and they even had the signage right, like on street level. So again, very impressed with 2020. So I imagine 2024 is even going to be a bigger step up.
Oh yeah, I think it will be. I think it's they're hopefully they've got everything mapped right with Google Maps, like everything.
Right.
At least in this country, I don't know about other countries, and yeah, that's what's kind of funny too. Is like, remember when 2020 came out? I wanted to go to I wanted to go to check out China where the virus came from, and they wouldn't let me because China's like doesn't.
How dare you?
I know. Well, okay, sorry. Well, they say it came from there. Like, who am I to say? But I wanted to go check it out. Remember, and there's just certain countries you're not allowed to go fly over because you know what I mean. They're just not friendly with that. They don't. I don't blame them. I don't want other countries filming our stuff, but.
Yeah, they probably have their own version of Flight Simulator over there. That's why we had those balloons flying over.
Oh, that's what it was.
Right?
Well, why was everyone freaking out? They were just trying to get pictures for Flight Sim. Right. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're paranoid.
People need to chill out. That's what I think.
Just chill out. Just relax. Spread your wings and fly, as like somebody said. Thomas.
Anyways, this is cool. Again, Aces of Thunder, Flight Simulator 2024. Flight Simulator 2020 for that matter. All good reasons for me to kind of keep an eye out for a reasonably priced HOTUS because I think we might be flying around before we know it.
Especially in this game. And I was going to type it, but I will answer Mark Pringle's leaf verbally. Yes, it was Greenland was the one movie I watched about the comet. Just because there was a lot of similarities to... There's a lot of similarities to a lot of things going on with a lot of the comets and stuff just this last year. And thank God it didn't have, like, Clark didn't come and smash into us because in the movie, spoiler alert. Well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it. Everyone's running out to go watch it right now. So
there you go. Sir Real Deal says you'll be banned on Flight Sim if you fly into towers. Really? That sucks. You should be able to do what the fuck ever you want. It's a game.
What do you mean you'll be banned? You can't fly into the... What if I crash? What if I crash by accident?
Dude, I was going to totally fly into the United Airlines headquarters and burn it to the ground.
What if I wanted to fly my plane into the one World Tower? Man,
Freedom Tower?
Too soon? Yeah, the Freedom Tower. It's been 23 years.
You don't have that kind of freedom.
Not allowed to. You don't have that kind of freedom. Sorry, pal. Yeah, that's true.
PD, there's a black pyramid in Alaska. If you fly over it, have a look. Secrets of. Yeah, it's a cool little YouTube rabbit hole to go down. Is Secrets of Google Earth. Things that have been blurred out. People go visit to try to find out what they are. There's all kinds of cool, weird stuff in our world that the Google satellites didn't think to censor just yet. But then they do when they find it.
How cool is Google Earth going to be in like 10 years? Like with the technology and stuff? Because it's already really cool in VR now. But like if they could give it proper, true 3D and maybe even people walking around, you know what I mean? Or whatever, or let you actually walk around and not have be as limited. I think it's cool.
One of the stories in the cutting room floor for the patrons this week is someone checking out the old PCVR app called Wander. I don't know if you remember Wander or not, but it basically lets you go into VR and check out the Google Street View imagery. You know, where they go and they map all of the streets in the country and you can go in Google Earth and literally down on Street View and look around. So you can use Wander to do that, kind of teleport your way down the streets and look at everything. But now, since we've been so far into Google doing this, 15, 20 years of it now. There's this feature, the app uses all of that data. So you can literally time travel. You go to a spot, like go to your house or something that you've been to a bunch of times, and you can tell it to go back in time, and it'll just scroll through the different versions of this spot. And you can literally watch the time elapse and delapse before your eyes. Pretty cool.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What if someone died in that time? You could watch them die and undie, and that'd be kind of weird.
Flippy Nugget says, I'm literally playing EarthQuest as I'm listening, just flying around Everest or whatever.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I Looper said, but it's 360 flat, or it's flat 360, right? Yeah, it's
Yep, right.
But you're looking up and you can like sense a scale of buildings and stuff. And if you've never been to it, or if you can go down, I've gone to my old neighborhood I grew up in and gone up and down the street. It's pretty cool. And that's why I think that if they just added like proper 3-dimensional 3D, right? And then maybe give you a little bit more sense of being able to move around, or who knows what the future would be. But I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll do volumetric video when the technology becomes accessible and affordable. Right now, that stuff's all very expensive, and nobody really has the hardware to take advantage of it. What I'd say they'll do before then, even though, is use AI to just artificially add 3D to these 2D images. What we're seeing this happen right now in the Apple ecosystem. So
yeah, that's true. We don't even need the real thing. AI will do everything. All hail the AI gods. They're coming. They're here.
Anyways, yeah, they are here. That's for sure. Anyway, lots of stuff to look forward to for you high flyers out there. But let's move along to something else. Let's give the Quest crew something to look forward to. Thrasher brings an arcade Odyssey to Quest and Apple Vision Pro this July. This from Henry Stockdale at Upload VR. Thrasher, the new VR arcade game from a Thumper developer, reaches Quest and Apple Vision Pro next month. Developed by Puddle and published by Creature, Thrasher is described as an arcade action odyssey and visceral audiovisual experience. Using your hand to guide a space eel across unusual landscapes. Roots, you know who else likes to use their hand to guide a space eel across unusual landscapes?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
You fight bosses in a race for survival as you swoop, dash, and thrash to defeat them. Following last year's reveal at the Game Awards, a new trailer confirmed it's now arriving on July 25th. Detailed on the Steam page, Thrasher's gameplay involves breaking through obstacles and stacking up combos as you face 9 mysterious leviathans. Power-ups are available that can supercharge the space seal and maximize combos, letting you bulldoze everything, deploy a spray of bullets, or slow down time to create a path through. Thrasher arrives on the MetaQuest platform and Apple Vision Pro on July 25th, while the PC, VR, and flat screen versions will follow, quote, sometime after. I'm pretty excited for this one, Roots, if for no other reason than this is from one of the devs behind Thumper, and I absolutely love Thumper to this day. I still love Thumper. It's the PSVR 2 version of Thumper was my favorite version of it. So I'm excited just to check this out.
Yeah, it looks really good. Kind of little bummed that I'm gonna have to wait to play it on PC VR. But as people are saying in the chat, Tony Savino, and of course no PSVR 2. So then I want to slap myself. Like Root said, yeah, you get to wait, but you get to actually play this. Why is this not coming to PSVR 2, or do you think it will?
I think it's possible. I mean, obviously, as is the case with any game that chooses not to come to PSVR 2, if that is indeed a decision that's being made, it's because there's no money to be made there compared to the other platforms. But it still could come. You know, these developers, you saw what they did with Thrasher, right? Like, or Thumper. They put it on everything, and just over time, right? It takes time for 1 and 2 man teams to work. So I'm not saying I don't think it'll come to PlayStation VR 2, but it might be next year, late next year, before we see it on that platform.
Looks
and
badass.
You don't have to wait, Roots. It's coming to Quest. It's not a Quest 3 exclusive, so you can check it out on your Quest Pro.
That's true. I will definitely be checking it out. It looks badass. And I mean, if it was okay, if I'm being honest, if this game was not coming out on Quest Pro, it was Quest 3, I might have to go out and buy an Apple Vision Pro. No, just kidding. I'm not doing that either. Nah, I am glad. I will check it out on Quest, and it's coming to PC. So,
while we're on the subject, and I know, Roots, you're probably not going to be swayed, but just in case you are, or just in case there's someone out there that's been waiting for a good opportunity to jump in on a Quest 3, as of right now, until stock runs out, just like with Quest 2 when it came out, the certified refurbished Quest 3s are starting to roll in. These are headsets that are guaranteed under warranty, just like a new one, with a significant price cut. $450 for a Quest 3 right now, refurb, and these are pretty much just like brand new headsets. I mean, I just returned one a couple of weeks ago that I picked up just so I could do a controller swap without having to go through all of the bullshit with customer service. So that was a brand new headset that I didn't even power up back to the refurb pile. Now they'll just have to rework those controllers, and somebody will get a brand new headset for $450.
There you go.
So if you're thinking about getting in on Quest 3, now's the time. They did this with Quest 2 as well, and they sold out of them pretty quick. So don't wait. If that's your price point, jump in on it. But these are available right now.
Here's my problem. I would buy one, but I'm waiting for the one that Zuck is sending me. I've already put it out there to him like last week, and I know it's coming, so I'm just like waiting. Right. And that's about the only way that I'm putting a Quest 3 on my face again.
We could probably build ourselves into that, right? We could. I mean, we're at a pivotal time in our channel's growth right now where we're starting to approach that 5K milestone.
True.
And if we started playing the game now and started working the algorithm, started covering all of those Quest games that we don't give a shit about, I'm sure we could work our way up to becoming one of these meta ambassadors. Yeah.
Would I still get to call Zuck a cuck? Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. I love calling him that. I just figured that this is what I told D. I said because I said it in such a way and was actually kind of rude about it, and I apologize for that, Mark. But if he were to send it to me now, then he is a cuck, and so like I would imagine that it's never coming. But yeah, no, I think that's a really good deal. $450. You know, like you said, they're going to guarantee it, so it's not like you're going to get this shitty headset that's scratched with no warranty, or you know what I mean. It's going to be pretty much brand new, just cheaper. So
Yeah, it's the same ones they give you when you send yours in for repair. This is what they do. You send yours in and they send you a refurb unit.
yeah, I think it's
I
good.
had I did that with one of my old Oculus headsets. They sent me one. It was just like a brand new one.
And anybody that's out there that, if say you're considering getting a Quest 3, you want to play the new Batman or whatever. What Wes just said, that to me is a 99.9999% better thing to do than buying the Quest 3 Lite with the Fresnel lenses. And yeah, you're gonna save yourself a little bit more money. You're not gonna have the best thing, in my opinion, about the Quest 3, which is the pancake lenses. And it's not a bad headset. You know what I mean? It's a good headset. So
Absolutely. By the way, while we're on the subject here with Thrasher, how cool is it that Apple Vision Pro is finally getting a game that somebody wants to actually play?
oh, I know this is gonna be really good, and I would imagine it's gonna be hand tracked, right? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so
It's not.
perfect.
It's not mandatory. There's an option for controller, and I imagine I'll probably play with controllers just to get the haptic feedback. Um, but especially if you're playing on the Apple Vision Pro, the way that the hand tracking is supposed to be so super accurate on that thing, I imagine that you'll be able to play this game pretty well on that headset.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I
I
think this
wonder,
game looks amazing, and I think it's perfect. It's a perfect candidate for the Apple Vision Pro.
Looper says Vision Pro got Demio, but reportedly it's not very good on Vision Pro. Yeah, I think it's like a hybrid, right? It's in between like the VR version and the flat version. It's not like the full immersive VR version on Vision Pro. I want to say.
Yeah, the PC version of Demio is not as good as the VR version either, so that doesn't
Right.
surprise me.
Anyway, Thrasher looks awesome. We don't have long to wait. About 6 weeks, 5 weeks until that one comes out, and we definitely will be covering it. So stay tuned.
You bring the police to my door, to my rig.
I can sort this, right? I just need time.
Don't you answer me back!
You're fired.
You hear me? Fired.
Jesus, Gregor! Gregor!
Still Wakes the Deep is a wonderfully authentic Scottish horror story. This from Video Games Chronicle. The term walking simulator has rather unfairly become shorthand for a game lacking in interactivity. In reality, not every game has to be an open world romp, and games like What Becomes of Edith Finch and its ilk are perfectly legitimate forms of entertainment. The reason a number of these games tend to suffer is that action focused games can get away with shonky writing and performances, but when the game's main aim is to carry the player through a narrative, that narrative has to in turn carry the game. Few studios manage to pull this off effectively, which may be why the genre has developed its unwarranted reputation. But the Chinese Room, the UK studio behind Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, has already proven its ability to deliver engaging plots which keep the player engaged. Still Wakes the Deep is the studio's most ambitious attempt at a narrative-led adventure, and it's another impressive effort that, despite a couple of niggles, gets it right where it counts. Roots, what's a niggle?
I don't
feel really
know.
weird. Like I had to read that very carefully to not be canceled. Like, could you imagine somebody with like a thick Chinese accent reading that line there? It would be dangerous.
It would be very dangerous. And for all we know, you just said something really offensive in a different language. I don't know what a niggle is. That could be like
I have no idea.
anybody.
Apparently
It might be Scottish. Anybody Scottish out there? What is a
don't know.
niggle? Actually, that'd be a good trivia question for the next game. What is a niggle?
What is a niggle? That is, there's a couple of them in this game, apparently, whatever they are. Set in 1975, the game takes place on an oil rig off the coast of Scotland. The player is Kaz McCleary, a Scottish worker who's about to be sacked and made to leave the rig for reasons we don't yet know. Before he gets to board the helicopter that takes him off the rig, however, a loud bang rattles the rig and Kaz finds himself thrust into an escape mission where he has not only to help his colleagues get off the rig, but also to figure out who or what has caused the incident. An aside is really needed at this point. As a proud Scot who's lived through the decades of awful Scottish accents in video games, this writer beamed with delight throughout the entirety of Still Wakes the Deep thanks to the brilliantly believable dialogue and deliveries. The cast mainly consists of experienced Scottish actors, and the writing features plenty of Scottish slang, all of which is used properly and doesn't feel forced. The Scots are masters of colorful language and gallows humor, and both are perfectly replicated here. From the opening sequence to the final monologue, it's the most wonderfully authentic presentation of our language this writer has ever seen in a game, and for that reason alone, Scottish players should celebrate it. Of course, outside of Scotland, the game actually has to get the job done too, which it does. It's difficult to say too much about Still Wakes the Deep without giving the game away entirely. But the fact that the game's original pitch was the thing set on an oil rig means anyone familiar with John Carpenter's film should have an idea of what to expect. There's also more action here than in the Chinese Room's previous walking sims. While Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture dabbled with paranormal themes, this is an all-out horror game with chase scenes, stealth sections, and moments where the player has to escape areas with steadily rising water. As a result, there are plenty more opportunities to die in this game than there are in most others in this genre. It's less a walking simulator and more a running away screaming and frantically swimming simulator. Special mention has to go to the creature designs too. Most of the time you don't get a really good look at them. There's no combat here, so the aim is to hide and look for alternate paths so you don't get caught. But there's one in particular that you come to face to giant face with, and it makes for one of the most deliberately stressful moments in the game. As cliched as it is to say it, the oil rig itself is one of the best characters in the game. From the crew's quarters to the inner workings, it's a fantastic environment to explore, and the combination of Unreal Engine 5 and much of the game being lit by a torchlight makes for believable immersion. This is quite a long review. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. I think most people get the point. This is a very high quality, realistic walking simulator, a horror game, well written, well acted, according to this reviewer. Why are we talking about it? Well, we're talking about it for two reasons. First of all, this is an Unreal Engine 5 game. Second of all, this game is going to be featured in PC Game Pass day one. And guess what, Roots? Day one is tomorrow.
Oh, God.
So if you have a PC out there, if you like playing UEVR, here's another title coming with your subscription that, you know, maybe it runs, maybe it doesn't. It is very photorealistic. But I would say, Roots, a game like this where there isn't a whole lot of like heavy gameplay mechanics, probably a bit more likely to work than like an action game or an adventure game where there's a lot more going on than just the story and the environments.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks amazing. I think that this is the infamous moment you realized you're not getting rid of Game Pass was probably for this game, because it's definitely right up your alley. Paradise Decay says game comes out in about 10 hours, and he also, well as many other people, gave us the definition of the niggles. It says, he said, what did he say? It was an irritation, basically, but there was a very specific definition. Niggle, cause slight but persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety. And then people were saying it's, Rogue TR says it's common in Australia. I guess we're the only ones left out with the niggles here. But
There's no way anybody in America would dare to say that other than me. Like,
no.
people wouldn't even attempt it. I'm dedicated to getting the word out about this game, so I did it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, a cigarette. What do they call that? Remember when I asked GT? Like there's just differences in languages, and
there is. That's right.
So,
and at the end of the day, and I don't want to get off on this. I know I will thoroughly regret it if I get off on this philosophical rant. But at the end of the day, words are words, and what's in people's hearts is what really matters. Like the intention behind the word means more than any word
right,
ever could.
Absolutely, I agree.
Like I could call somebody like an ass face, which is a stupid insult. But if I had like real hatred in my heart and I only called a certain ethnic group that name,
then it would.
That's worse than like a well-intentioned person saying a word and not meaning anything behind it, even if it's the worst word in the vocabulary, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Anyways, I think that this Still Wakes the Deep looks cool, and I'm keeping my Game Pass open long enough to find out. And I'm not saying we'll cover it this week because we've already settled on doing Visage this week. By the way, those of you excited to hear what we think about Visage and UEVR, assuming that it runs well, we'll be talking about that this Saturday. But this might be my next pick, Ruuts, if it turns out to run as well as I hope it does.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I'm intrigued. Like, okay, so I like walking sims as long as they're really good and the story's good. Like in a way, in some ways, I almost prefer them to a lot of gameplay. Sometimes I get a lot of action and gameplay kind of annoys me if I'm really into the story. I'm like, I don't want to stop and have to do a bunch of weird stuff, especially if it's stuff that I don't necessarily need to do, collecting stuff or some stupid puzzle or whatever. So, and then of course the actual thing on an oil rig, like that sounds amazing. So,
yeah. Who loves the thing, Ruuts?
Mm-hmm.
My mom!
Not even only on an oil rig. Anytime. Anytime.
Samson's here, everybody. Everybody say hello to Samson.
Hey, what's up,
143 VR. Walking through the door. What's up, bro? Good to see you. No, this is cool. This looks cool. I'm excited. I do wonder though. I mean, it's a Scottish game with Scottish actors, and the reviewer is Scottish. I would feel a little bit better about this if it were like a North American reviewer or even like a German reviewer or something other than a Scottish reviewer telling me that this game is super awesome. That would be a bit more convincing because you don't know how much nationalism is going into this review and how much of it is actually the game being good.
That's true. Well, I hope it's good. The premise is good. So They got me there right off the bat. So as long as it's good enough from that.
And get this, it's a photorealistic game set in 1975. How cool will that be just by itself?
Right, especially I was only 1 year old, so I've been like walking around Scotland as a baby. That'd be cool. Yeah, no, it's super cool. I wonder how you said it's photorealistic. I wonder if like the areas are like the same of if you lived there or you've been there, will it be recognizable or?
Well, I think the most of the game, if not all of it, takes place on this oil rig. So I don't know
okay.
how
So
much
unless they live on the oil rig,
geography.
probably not.
Right.
Probably not. Okay, well, cool. I think it's cool. Or could be anyway.
I agree. Yep. Well, we'll know soon enough. This game hits Game Pass tomorrow, and is again Unreal Engine 5. So we'll fire it up, see how it works, and get back to you on that. And with that, that concludes this week's headlines and moves us into the week's reminders. And as we often do, we're going to kick off reminders with a look at what's out this week. Blade and Sorcery 1.0 coming to Steam VR this week, Roots. This is the long awaited full release of one of the most popular melee fighting games, if not the most popular melee fighting game in VR history. Um, it's not just an arena fighter anymore, apparently. There's going to be campaign progression, there's going to be exploration, there's going to be lore, boss fights, all the stuff that I needed to be there as a bare minimum to get me through the door. I've never played this game, I've never had much of a desire to play it. Um, I don't like games that just have me in there fighting with no reason to be fighting. And apparently they're giving me a reason to fight. So I'm not saying I'm going to run in and check it out tomorrow. But there at least is a possibility now that I'll get in there and look at it, because judging from this trailer, Roots, like, it looks like there's some pretty cool stuff in here.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I see. I did go back. I did go into this game early, way back in the day, and everything that you just said as far as that didn't draw you in was what I didn't like about it. It was just sandbox, running around with sword, and you know me, I don't like melee anyway, so it was even worse. So if it's got structure, it could be good. You know what's funny? I was just reading this, and I was like, oh, good. It's going from 20 to 30. So I was gonna say, people, you better get it before it goes up. And then I looked at the date, and I was like, oh, it came out today. Well, you're gonna get the better version for $30 because you missed the $20. But yeah, no, I think this is cool. I don't know necessarily if I'm gonna be rushing in there myself at all. But I think it's cool that they're finally actually able to release. It's been out. It's been a couple of years, right? Like 2 or 3 years at least. And what's cool is, you remember when this first came out, for at least many years, it was PC only, and Quest players wanted to play it so bad, and it just wasn't coming to Quest. And then all of a sudden it came, and now they're going to get this version. I believe that, right? So that,
Well, so the 1.0 update is coming to Steam only this week. And then they're going to get to work porting to the Quest version,
cool.
which is called Nexus or something like that.
Okay.
So it'll probably be later this year, early next year, before Quest players get the full update. But I think that's cool. I mean, this is a game that made its name as a PCVR game, and I think that they should cater to those players first,
Right.
to be quite honest.
Well, you're going to get the better
yeah.
version. I think Quest should always be the second version, unless you're going to make a completely different version. Don't make the Quest the least, common denominator, and then port from there. It should always go from the
Right.
strongest and port from, you know what I mean? Like if it was
Right.
PSVR 2 and Quest, it should go to PSVR 2 first. So
Nomad says Traveling Man. Thank you. Blade and Sorcery Nomad. So yeah, no, I probably won't be rushing in to play it this week. I might rush to go buy it today. Because like you said, it's going from $20 to $30 when it launches. So if you haven't got this one in your library yet, now might be the time. I know that there are some referral discounts floating around on our Discord. If you want to own this on the Rift platform, you can get that 25% off or whatever. I would probably get it on Steam, just because I don't want to tie myself to a single headset, right? I want to be able to play this on future headsets, whether they be Oculus or not.
I buy
But
everything on Steam. I mean,
right.
there's no reason to buy into the weird ecosphere of meta. Tony Savino wants to know if Quest 2 has any good fishing games, and they do. They've got real VR fishing, and they've got bait. And the difference is one's more of a fishing sim, which is real VR fishing, and bait is more of a game. It's a little bit more arcadey, but is absolutely, in my opinion, more fun. Although they're both really good. So
Real VR fishing is awesome. If you want a good fishing sim, that's the way to go. If not, bait's pretty good. A Galactic Catch.
oh yeah, that's right.
Was
That was
another
cool
good
too.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
They say that it's already gone up to $30.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
saying. Is like I was reading the article and I was like, oh, good that we've got a week. It said, and then I looked at the date and it's just came out today, and I was like, fuck, man. But what are you gonna do? Like this is a week old article, and we got to it now because we had other shit to report last week. Just the way it works.
So it is, bro.
Yeah, that's it. And I would question, if you're such a Blade and Sorcery fan, why do you not own it already? Because somebody was saying in the chat, they said, "Oh wow, I already own it." So that's cool.
You know what? It might be in my library. I have no idea. I would get so many of these bundles of keys. I might have a key that I haven't claimed.
Oh,
Who
ooh.
knows?
That's true. That's true.
Anyways, not to be forgotten, PSVR 2 getting a title this week as well. Tarzan VR coming to PlayStation VR 2 tomorrow. Interesting game, Tarzan VR. Launched to some fairly mixed reviews on PC. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. Got ported over to PSVR and Quest badly, which as I understand, those versions have since been updated and are better now than they were when they launched. But it developed quite a reputation due to those bad ports.
Right.
And now here we are coming full circle back to PSVR 2 and what they're describing as the best version of the game. This is a game that we covered back on when it launched on PC. We didn't give it Game of the Year or anything, but we did enjoy it. We liked it. It's an arcadey action game, kind of like being in a comic book sort of thing. There's some goofy stuff in it. Anthony's voice is in this game, which is pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
You can find our names if they haven't taken it out. You can find our names hidden in this game on a wall, because we did play test it a little bit leading up to its launch. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. Like, it's only a certain type of gamer that's going to like this game to begin with.
Right.
If they deliver something that's similar to what we got on PC, then some people are going to like it. But it's certainly not going to be a game for everyone.
I think the biggest thing you can get out of this is if you were like a really huge Tarzan fan back in the day, and you just want to be in like a Tarzan feel world, and I'm not even talking about gameplay wise or whatever. I'm talking about like you can find like records that have different sounds from the game, different audio. Like there's something to be had for a Tarzan fan here, you know. And so I'd say from that aspect, you could actually enjoy it. You know, I didn't, and like you said, I enjoyed the PC version for what it was. That was a long time ago. How many years has it been?
It's been a while, man. It's been a few years, and you know, we never did go back to it either. Like we only covered the first chapter, and I think I played a little bit of the second one. But there's 3 chapters to this, so we never played it through to the end. I don't know what the extra ones have in it. I remember that I liked the traversal. I liked the swinging in it. The stories is decent. The voice acting is kind of goofy. I think the big weak link was the combat in the game, and that was what really held it back for a lot of people. The enemy AI was just dumb, and it was a lot of button mashing, sort of spamming attacks at these things, and it wasn't very compelling. It got boring after a little while. With that said, it's had updates since then. They supposedly fixed the enemy AI, made it so it's a little bit more difficult. And again, we haven't tried the later chapters in it to see how the story goes. I really like the the power up. Look, there's like a power up mode in this. I think you have to eat or drink something, and it gives you like this psychedelic ability to find hidden paths and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the fact that even though it's linear, there are branching paths, and you can find secret areas by swinging off the beaten path. I thought that was pretty cool, and it's not a bad looking game either. Like it was a decent looking game on PC.
No, you said this is gonna be the best version, so it's like awesome. Too. It says, "Ha, let's go PSVR 2, baby." Somebody said this is what PSVR 2 needs. I'll tell you what, this is supposed to be the best version of this game, so we'll see, and I would believe it. So,
Surreal Deal wants to know what's up with Hitman VR for Quest. Well, they're giving people all of those things that they made such a big deal about earlier on, with being able to use your left hand, and all you have to trade for it is the beautiful graphics and the ability to play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2.
There's no way I would ever play on the Quest and this is of course without playing it. Of course I won't be able to. Not allowed to as a Quest Pro owner. But I would never trade to play it on that version for what you get. It's just not worth it. I think the PC version was so amazingly gorgeous, and then like you said, the extra content, and it's gonna run better. I mean, of course, I've got a really nice rig as well, and so but what I do get excited about it is there's a shitload of people that well, I guess not as many because it's not Quest 2 and Quest Pro, but all the Quest 3 owners that don't have a PC, don't have access to that game, are now going to get to play Hitman in VR, Hitman 3. So,
yep, I'm going to try it out, see what it's like. I'd be shocked if it won me over to being the version of that game I want to play.
I think we should have you and Mash again stream it, and one person does that Quest 3 version, and then the other person does the other version or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
that
let
was
Mash
fun.
play the Quest version.
Yeah.
Bad Robo says, sorry, Wes, but Tarzan on PSVR 1 is crap. Pretty sure I said that,
Yeah.
but
It was the really bad, and Quest one as well. But this one's supposed to be the best version, so we'll see. You didn't have joysticks in PSVR 1 either. So.
Looper has a good point. We could play Hitman on Quest. We just have to hook it into a PC when we do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Paradise Decay says, you know who else loves to use your left hand?
My mom!
Left, right, other things. I'll leave that to your imagination.
All right, so PC gamers this week are getting Blade and Sorcery 1.0. PSVR 2 players are getting Tarzan VR. What are the Quest players getting this week?
Yes.
MiRacle Pool coming to Quest headsets this week. Bruce, I'm not really sure about the details about this game, but from the footage, this looks great. This looks like just what Quest 3 needs. A game that you can play in VR or you can play mixed reality. And I'm just assuming that you can play it in VR. This might be just mixed reality, which I think would be a little weird for Quest 2 players.
It wouldn't be very good. That's for damn sure. The pass-through sucks.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's read the article. I normally don't read the article in this section, but I want to know more about this game. This is from Henry Stockdale, Upload VR. MiRacle Pool serves up a mixed reality billiards in 2 weeks on the Quest store. Developed by Pixelwork Studios, MiRacle Pool previously appeared on Quest App Lab last October, and now it's receiving full release. Unlike Forever Pool's MR support, MiRacle Pool was designed from the ground up for mixed reality, promising realistic ball physics. You know who loves realistic ball physics, Ruuts?
My
She
mom!
does. She really does.
That's been developed over 3 years and a lock and shoot mechanic for cue stick handling. You can see it in action below. Detailed in a press release, MiRacle Pool supports solo matches against AI for 8-ball and 9-ball, while practice mode adds 10-ball, snooker, and drills. Online multiplayer supports both private online multiplayer matches and a ranked mode. You can also select 2 mini-games, Countdown Challenge and Moneyball Challenge, both of which have leaderboards. Finally, daily challenges can earn you bonus XP for MiRacle Pool's progression system. On the store page, Pixelworks Studios states that ranking up will unlock new tables, balls, cues, and more. In a brief FAQ, the developer confirms that a smaller table option is available for smaller rooms, stating that you can rotate and move the table as needed. MiRacle Pool arrives on June 20th for the MetaQuest platform. $15 is all. So I have questions here. First of all, even if it's just what they say it is here for $15, as long as the ball physics is everything it's supposed to be, that's great. Mixed reality pool is a no-brainer. People should be making all of these games. They should be making this and chess and just everything that people like to do in the same room. Allow them to do a mixed reality with the avatars so that you can play with people that aren't in your room, in your room,
Right.
so to speak.
Well, my thoughts are a couple things. One, obviously, I've never played it, but according to several people in the chat, it's really good. PD said Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis told him he made the trailer and they had to hold back not making it too lifelike. And I guess it is mixed reality from what other people are saying, but there's several people that are saying it's totally worth it. They've played it from day one, and it's amazing that you can get it cheaper than $15 now before it comes out if you go get it now. So don't sleep on it. Go get it today before it comes out officially on the Quest store. I'm assuming you get it through App Lab, right? Until then?
Yeah. That would be correct. So no VR mode, is that what they're saying, that it's only MR?
Yeah, that's what somebody was saying as early on in the conversation that it was only
Mr. Cherryman.
Yeah. That it was only mixed reality.
Okay. Well, that's fine with me, but because I have a Quest 3, it sucks for Quest 2 players that don't have color pass through. It sucks for them. The other question I would have about it, that this game needs to have, is co-location. Can two people with two Quest 3 headsets stand in the same room around the same virtual pool table and shoot pool? That's my other question about it. It needs to happen. If it's not in there at launch, that's fine. This should be the next update that the developer is working toward. Mr. Cherryman says yes. I assume he's answering my question that yes, co-location works.
Cool. PD said Mike and GT's company has been consulting on the game, so he thinks it is going to be good. Well, people have been saying, everybody in the chat, every single person that has said that they've played it is said it's amazing. So, and they said they said the physics are really good.
Yeah, and that's been the focus of XR Game Labs as a company. I don't know how extensive their client list is, but I know that one of their big focuses as a company is to make the games good before they launch. So if you're telling me that they've been involved with this one for a while, then I have the utmost confidence that it's ready for the big stage. $15 is an amazing price for it. 12 is even better, but
right.
$15 is not a lot of money in 2024. So
no. I would opt for the $15, and I'll tell you why. I'm not a big App Lab person, although if that's the only place to get it, I will. But if I can get it from the actual store, it's a lot easier for me to just log into that and click on the thing and buy it. So I just don't use App Lab very much.
Well, here's the cool thing about it is since you've bought anything on the Quest store, they've integrated App Lab into the main store. It's just a category now. Like the search works now. Like you can search App Lab titles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's a genre now instead of being its own separate thing.
Okay. Well, then never mind. Get it for cheap.
Mickey Barrios doing Mickey Barrios things in the chat. Pinball FX2 VR. Steam key flying out the door.
Amazing game.
Yeah. I'm sold, Roots. I think I'm going to pick up MiRacle Pool and give it a look.
Yeah.
Because I like to shoot pool. And this seems like a cool way to hang out and spend time with people without playing walkabout all the time.
What about snooker?
Yeah, I don't call it that. I shoot pool.
Well, my thing is that that's what my point is. Like, what kind of name is snooker? How weird is that? That's a little weird. A little weird.
Yeah, that word itself is a bit of a niggle to me.
yeah, it's a little nigglish, you know. Yeah, is that even a word, nigglish? We got to ask all those Aussies out there. They're like, dude, you can't use it that way, Roots. When you use it that way, it is offensive. Oh, shit.
Moving along, that's what's out this week, folks. Go spend your money accordingly. Let's take a look at some viewer comments. First, we have Sky Archer Dev. Says, hey, developer here. Thanks a lot for the talk on Downtown Club. I'm glad to hear the game was at least decent for you, especially if you're used to PCVR games. I guess it's a good result considering we made the game from scratch in barely 3 people and almost 0 budget. There's a lot more I want to do with this game, so if things turn out good, we'll be able to work on this for a long time. I hope Quest players will enjoy what we have so far. So there you go, ladies and gents. Developers paying attention, developers that care. Um, and what they've done here, Roots, I mean, for having 3 dudes and no money, pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I was reading the chat about the Nigglish. No, I agree. I agree. And everything we said was all constructive criticism to make the game better. And which is awesome, that the fact that they're in early access is this exactly what they need is feedback, right? And so that's one of the reasons why we do what we do, is if we can, especially if they're open to listening to it. It sounds like they are. I think everything we said is would make the game better. You know.
Absolutely. And I said as much when I replied to the developer, told them that we look forward to seeing what they do next, and we'll keep an eye on the game, and of course keep all of you updated as the game progresses. If you want to support it, it's another one that's $15.99 right now on App Lab, and as you can see, that $15.99 is much needed from
Right.
this small team. So if you're a racing fan who plays on Quest, give it a look. It's already in a pretty solid state.
Yep.
Michel Verhagen, Michelle 6643 says, "Thanks guys. I bought the game, and indeed great graphics and gameplay." I think he's talking about the Evil West.
Yes.
Here. I'm so busy trying UEVR. And once again, I got that wow factor back again, finally. When I first tried PSVR with games like Asgard's Wrath and Lone Echo, last year Praydog gave us Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and 8 in VR, and now this UEVR injector. I guess that team will be remembered for keeping quality VR alive historically. Good point. A lot of people feel that way, Roots.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, I guarantee when you look back, you're going to see certain names and companies for the final push into VR that made VR mainstream. I can see a documentary down the road, and all these names that Praydog and UEVR and Flat to VR, and there's a lot of names that are going to be and all the modders. Like there's so many amazing ones out there that have really kind of even paved the way to where we're at now. You know, so
absolutely. Rickaron
Wait,
75.
He's in the chat. What's up, Michael? He said Evil West. He was talking about. Sorry, I just got excited.
Sorry.
I saw he was in the chat. What's up?
Sorry, I butchered your last name, Michelle. Rickaron 7593. There was a time in the earlier days of VR, I would have felt like I was in heaven having most of the games that I now call shovelware. With UEVR, it changed my VR life. It's an addiction. I play UEVR about 75%, standalone 15%, and 10% flat. I think way before Apple comes down in price, another company by next year will announce something similar in the 1500 range with a higher field of view. So there are a couple of different statements there. One, just another testimonial to how awesome UEVR is. And two, the Apple Vision Pro. A lot of people think this, Roots, that we're going to get some competitors come out with comparable features, if not superior, for a more affordable price.
Oh yeah, that's what's great. That's why people that say capitalism is evil need to bite their tongue. That's what the free market does, right? People come out with better versions, cheaper versions, and that's just the way it works. And I agree. I think there's going to be amazing ones, and it's going to be my savior, because it may just be, like you said, a headset that happens to run their I would say shitty software, but I can't say that. Their software is actually pretty good when it runs. Their ASW is the best in the industry. So
Ben Dowswell. I love my playthrough of Evil West. Met Quest 3 with motion controls and right hand aiming when the guns were drawn. Awesome experience. One of my favorites so far with UEVR. If you're looking for another VR game to play, try Shadow Warrior 3. Looks stunning inside the headset. Gamepad and head aiming works really well. Not familiar with Shadow Warrior 3. Are you, Roots?
No, actually, I've never heard of it. But if they said good things like that, then I'm all for it. I think it'd
Absolutely. Mark Smith, I'm enjoying Kayak VR, but I didn't get the bundle since it was more expensive. I purchased the game on sale. Think it was maybe $15. Then I got the DLC that was $8 instead of the bundle that was $28. It's not a huge savings, but $5 cheaper feels much better. It's a really cool, quite realistic-ish experience. Very well done. I do really enjoy kayaking in real life, so this was great.
$5, $5, man. 2024, dude. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's interesting that the bundle costs more than buying it separately. That's kind of weird, but cool.
That is weird.
Gamertag VR. Some dude named Gamertag VR. I played Deathlap yesterday. The camera doesn't follow the player unless there's a setting I've missed. When you turn, the car leaves the player in third instead of first person, and it's completely bizarre. Something I did notice, though, is that all the older games look a lot better on Quest 3. As I recall, Roots, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you can choose to play third person or first person in Deathlap.
I thought so. It's been a while. Yeah. I don't remember it. It may have had some cinematic cameras going on at some point, and maybe that's what he's talking about, but I don't remember. I mean, it's been a while. I think maybe we need to, like you said, get back in there and check it out. But
see, well, the way I remember it is that I played it. I just played it in third person. Like, what he's experiencing here might be something that happens when people play it in first person mode.
Okay.
But I think that I don't think that I did. I think I just opted to play it as a third person game because all of the weapons and stuff are mounted right on the car. It isn't like something where you're. I mean, again, fuzzy memories. I could be just completely making all this up, but I don't remember any kind of weirdness like that where the point of view got super uncomfortable.
I don't either.
Who knows? He played it yesterday. I played
yeah,
it 3
so
years ago,
that's true. Like I said, I don't remember. So, if I trust his memory better than mine.
Yep. But again, you said it. We said it on Saturday too. We need to get back in and check this one out because I enjoyed it at the time.
Well, maybe we can get, like you said, get some people in there and play together.
Yeah. Maybe we do that live Saturday.
That'd be cool.
Maybe. Yeah. Luke Rogie. Looking forward to Thrasher. Shame it hasn't been announced for PSVR 2. Thumper on PSVR 2 was the best version for me. And this looks like another game that would really pop on OLED. The kick in the teeth, though, they're releasing this on Apple Vision Pro. But not PSVR 2, which surely must have a larger user base. Yeah, you would think so, right? I'm sure there's more PSVR gamers out there than there are Apple Vision Pro gamers.
For now. Like maybe gamers, but like even if there's not, it's not a traditional gamer thing. Like I could see anybody playing this. You know what I mean? Like it'd be something that you'd be like, oh, cool. This is a game I can play. Even like people that you do regular stuff with their computer want to play a game every now and then, right? So they might try it. Right. And they're going to have all those people in China having Vision Pros soon. So
the developers do things for a number of reasons. It could be a completely artistic choice. Like they may want to just release their game on the platform that has the best hand tracking and amazing visuals, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. So who knows? Black Market Honey says like and subscribe, people. I agree. Completely agree. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Yeah.
Last but not least is the fourth wall breaker. Says, I'm excited to see a Batman game made for VR. Enjoyed seeing Ryan Payton's description of how a player will embody Batman, not just in how shadows are cast on the environment, but how a player can look down and see the full suit. Hoping to see some real gameplay footage for Batman Arkham Shadow at some point. I didn't realize Green Hell was going to be played with up to 4 players for both survival mode and story mode. Curious to see how this is going to work when implemented. And last but not least, please enter me in the giveaway for Journey to Foundation. Ruuts, we got a game to give away, brother.
Oh, that's right. We got to give a game away. We got a new outro to make for next week because Mr. Cherryman says he just joined the Patreon because he asked for the link and I gave it to him. Yeah. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you, Mr. Cherryman.
Yep.
Yeah. Be sure to go in there and check out the show notes today. Be sure to scroll all the way down so that you can see all of the stuff that we didn't talk about.
And I don't know if you had a chance to make that, or I guess, I don't know, how do we do it? Because I didn't make it private. I just made it unlisted for my gameplay. So,
Oh, yeah. No, you did the right thing. I went in and put a thumbnail on it and changed the title and posted to our patrons this week. So there's a new exclusive gameplay up on the Patreon from Ruuts playing. What was it again? You were playing, Ruuts?
I think it was that Evil West, right?
It was
Crash.
no,
Crash.
Crash.
That's
It was
right. I got
Crash.
Evil West
Yeah,
is
Crash.
the latest one I made, or did. I haven't put up yet. So.
But no, I did post that on the Patreon. That is available to watch right now. And yes, unlisted is the way to go. I just copy and paste the link over there, and it embeds right in Patreon.
Perfect.
Anyway, let's give this game away, Ruuts. Journey to Foundation on Steam. We're going to give away 2 this week. We did 2 live a week ago on Virtual Strangers 214. We're going to do 2 more now. Again, this is Steam only. And we're going to draw winners the way that we always draw winners. Everyone that left a comment saying that they would like to enter got a number in the replies. We're going to go to the random.org random number generator. The generator will give us 2 numbers, and the names next to those numbers will win the games.
Tony Savino says, "Don't give Kayak don't get the DLC. It popping like crazy." I'm curious to see what platform you're on, Tony, because I didn't see any
PlayStation.
Okay.
He's on PlayStation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because for me, I of course I cranked everything up. I didn't see almost any pop in at all, and I was looking for it.
No, it was 100% pop in everywhere on PlayStation.
What a bummer.
Not on Steam. Anyway, we had 23 entrants. The first winner is number 23.
Oh, fourth wall breaker. There we go. No, just kidding.
I don't know. Actually, I don't even have it up in front of me here. I need to go back and find out. Let's see here. Content. Live. Virtual Strangers 214. Comments. All right. Let's see here. Let's filter those or order those newest first, and then scroll all the way to the bottom. And that would be just one Pant. Pant is the winner.
Nice. I love
Congratulations, Pant. You are the winner. All right. Who will be the other winner? That would be number 19.
Oh, God.
19 would correspond with Corporate Zombie. Congratulations,
awesome.
CZ. I don't know if he's still in the chat. He is overseas, so he might be sleeping, but congratulations, Corporate Zombie. Tag me up, winners on the Discord, and claim your prizes, or else I will be forced to give them to someone else.
It's 6:45. It's early. Why are you going to sleep so early? Oh, overseas. I got you.
Yeah. It's 1:45.
Oh, Jesus. What are you guys still doing up? That's the question.
All right. Anyway, thank you for everyone that entered. A lot of interest in that. A lot of people entering in for the other giveaway that we have going on right now. There is another one from Saturday's episode. We're giving away a copy of Evil West, which is 100% playable and awesome in UEVR. So if you haven't entered for that giveaway, be sure to go check out our Saturday episode to enter for a chance to win that.
That's the absolute best thing about VR for me this year has been the UE VR mod. Like it's saved VR for me in a lot of ways, just because there's just been so many amazing games, and they just keep coming. Like one's just dropped, like this one that you just, and it's like, oh my god, that looks amazing. Yeah. Oh, I can play that in VR. This is the future. This is the future I want. You know what I mean? A future where it's well known that every single game that I can play in VR is the exact same game that I would play flat, but it would always be better because there's obviously you can have extra features, but it's going to be the better way to play the game. You know, and then there's no denying it. No compromises, no shortcuts. I want the full games, and we're getting it with these mods in a way that the VR industry is just not ready to give it to us yet. So
I'll tell you what I really appreciate about it is during these slow periods, like we're in right now with regular VR, we have 2 or 3 of these periods each year where the release calendar really slows down, and before we would kind of have to explore some not so great games to try to find something good to cover. We don't have to do that anymore, and we don't. We only cover high quality shit here on the channel anymore. And if it's something that isn't good that we're covering, it's because we thought it would be good, and then it just turned out not to be.
right.
There's we now have the luxury of being very selective about what we talk about and what we cover, and that has been a pretty significant improvement for the channel and for me personally.
Absolutely.
Hussein X says Redout 2 was on Epic for free this week. Yeah, that runs in UVR as well. So everyone go get your free Epic game. I wonder if there's still people that are holding out. Remember when they started doing that and we had people that were such like Steam fanboys, they vowed to never go to Epic Games.
Girillo. Anthony was, well, I don't know if he said about that, but he was always hating all the different, logins and stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, this is the thing, Wes. I just, I don't, just can't say I've picked up every single game because there's times I just forget, right?
Right.
But I have like 10 pages of games, and a lot of them are games that suddenly there's a mod from Luke Ross or whoever, right? And so I just picked them up as they came along, filled this library just by having it with free games every week or, however often they look good. And now I've got a ton of games, right? Some of them really big gamers. I mean, at some point they gave away GTA, Red Dead. Like, there's all sorts of games that everybody should own if you would have just taken the free games. So,
absolutely, yeah. I've got a substantial library on Epic Games. I don't take them all. I'm like you. I don't always remember to, but I typically hear about it when there's an exceptionally good one, and I've got quite a library built up for nothing, just for going over there and participating every now and then. Plus, I've bought some good games on Epic, so their plan isn't necessarily failing. Like they are a legitimate platform. They are the number 2. There are a lot of these PC platforms out there, like GOG.com, for example, is another one that never could quite catch on. But Epic is while they're not on the level of Steam, nor are they even really close at this point. They've only been at it a couple of years now, and they're already the solid number 2.
They've done it very smart, and more often than not, when there's a timed release, it's coming out on Epic. That's where they've been shining. They've had so many games that have came out to Epic first, Harry Potter being one of them, or whatever, where if you wanted to play it when it came out, you're playing it on Epic, and then they'll slum it to Steam 6 months later. So
right. So moving on to our next reminder, it is that time once again, ladies and gents, where we ask all of you to do your part, please, to support your favorite game devs out there by taking just a moment to join us as we all go right now and wishlist a game. And I didn't put one in the notes this week, Ruuts.
Yeah, and
looking back over
I
what
skipped right over the wish list scene, which I can do it real quick and fix it. But how crazy, like like because you didn't have a specific one, I guess. I don't know. Craziness.
yeah, I don't know. I am going to wish list. I'm going to wish list Aces of Thunder because it looks awesome. And if it would just let me sign in, I'll do that right now.
I'm logging
I'll
into
drop.
PSVR 2 and I'm getting Astrobot 2. Oh shit. I can't. Damn it. I guess I'll get something else. What else is there?
There's Aces of Thunder,
Oh yeah.
and then there's that flat game. I don't even remember what it's called
Still
anymore.
Wakes the Deep. That looks really good actually. I should probably. I'm gonna do I think Thrasher, because that actually looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. I did it last week. It was the one I picked last week.
Ghost Shot says
Crap.
Zero Caliber 2 for me. And my thing is I really hope Zero Caliber 2 does well on initial launch, so they support it. That's just the
I was
only
going to
thing
ask
I'm
you off air, but I'll go ahead and ask you on there. Do we want to cover that? They're looking for people to play
hoping.
the game.
I'm
You
not
want to check it
opposed
out?
to I'm not opposed to going in there and I'm not opposed to being fair. If it's really good, then it'll be really good. You know?
Okay.
So
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. I'll put in a request and see if we can get some keys. All right, so I have dropped the link in the chat there for Aces of Thunder. If any of you want to put it on your wish list, if not, let us know what you chose this week. Let us know in the comments down below. Mark Pringlesleaf just wish listed Tarzan. Thank you, Mark. That's pretty awesome. Awesome Tatum, same thing. Wish listed Tarzan and bought Blade and Sorcery. Awesome.
really
Making a difference.
getting it done, right?
Looper says Snow Scout. Ghost Shot says Zero Caliber 2. Thanks everyone for participating. It's awesome. This really is a big deal to these developers, both big and small. Wish listing is everything when it comes to the placement of your game on the platform and who they push it to and who sees it and who doesn't. So it is a very real way that we can help without spending any money or really putting in much effort at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and
Mr. Cherryman says, Roots, you talking about your 4090 is the whole reason I built mine, and I love it. It's amazing. It's like the best investment I made. I know Brondo is doing the same thing, and Wes actually said earlier, while we were into the trailers, he said when we were coming to the next what Still Wakes the Deep, said time to sell some PCs basically, because or
Yep.
convince people to get into PCVR, because that's what all of these mods would do for me. If I didn't have one right now, I'm thinking about building one, because it's been the best thing that I've done for myself in gaming in general, but for VR especially. So
yeah, Chris Richardson thinks Mark's trolling people. No, he's not. People are interested in Tarzan, and they know what people say about Tarzan VR.
right.
Um,
I mean, if you, like I
so
said,
yeah,
if you're a really big fan of the show and stuff, and you want to, be in there for that reason, then I think it could be really cool for people. So
yeah, they go into it with their eyes wide open, and they're not buying it. They're not pre-ordering or anything. They're just wish listing it. So
yeah,
there you go. Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support us, our channel, and our community. Of course, if you haven't already, why haven't you subscribed yet? Like, what do we got to do over here? We're telling jokes and talking about VR games. We're talking about flat games now, Roots.
talking
Like,
about niggles and everything.
we are talking about those too. Yeah, so subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get notifications. I don't think people got the notification on Saturday, Roots. I'm seeing comments now. We saw it in the chat during the episode.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the comments since then. People saying that the notification didn't go out. So we were a little bit lower in terms of live numbers on Saturday, and I think that might have been something to do with it.
I think so. I think it's
people
YouTube.
didn't know we were on.
I think the
Yeah.
AI's pissed, and somehow Zuck is involved with YouTube, and he's pissed, and everybody's pissed. I don't know. That's weird.
Evil West is on Game Pass. I had to try it after Saturday's episode, and it's fantastic, says Mr. Cherryman. Awesome. Way to go. Philosix, I'm hoping that a new motherboard and RTX 5080 with better USB ports and display ports. That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're already subscribed, you want to do something a little extra, you can support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you can have access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, and you can get your name in the ticker at the end of the show. I want to shout out our newest Patreons. We have 3 this week. Like I mentioned earlier, we lost one, but we picked up 2, and now we picked up a 3rd one. Let's see here. Let me make sure I got all this right. Greg Karras. Welcome, Greg Karras. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Lou Sistma. Lou Sistma. Thank you, Lou, for becoming a friend of the community. We very much appreciate you. We've got, I guess this is Mr. Cherryman. I'm not going to put your name out there unless you want me to. Let me know if you want me to put your real name or your handle on the ticker at the end of the show on Saturday. I don't want to dox you or anything by putting out your real name, but thank you, Mr. Cherryman, for joining the Patreon as well. And we picked up some free members as well that they just like to come on and see how frequently we're posting, I guess. I don't know.
Okay,
We've got a handful of these free members.
Yeah. Actually, I need to go over there. I don't go to any of this stuff. Like, I've been bad about that. But let's see what's up. I guess I'm over there in the videos, but that's about it.
Pringlesleaf says he just joined Patreon. Well, thank you, Mark.
It's 4 now.
That's awesome. That's 4.
Yeah. It's getting crowded in there. Keep them coming.
Less than $1 per week, ladies and gents. You get exclusive content. You get the show notes, which a lot of work goes into, just to give you the news of the week. And again, you make so much possible for us, whether it's buying, a piece of hardware here and there. Most of it goes to Game Keys. Whether it's, all of us getting a flat game to cover in UEVR or buying giveaway keys for the end of the year show. It all goes back into the show.
Or even Evil West. That's the last one, right? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Right. Bought 4 copies of Evil West. 2 of them for us and 2 of them for you. So,
yep.
Thank you to those of you who support through Patreon, through PayPal, through YouTube. You all make a difference, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, and through likes and clicks and shares, right?
Yep. If you don't have money to support, we of course understand that it's a hard economy. That's why it is 100% free to join the Virtual Strangers Discord. There's an invitation link in the description below. All you have to do is click that link, and you will be whisked away into our own little virtual wonderland where we hang out, talk about games, music, pop culture. We just don't talk about religion and politics. Everything else we talk about pretty freely over there. So be sure, if you want access to Ruuts and I, that's the way to do it. Tag us on there. We'll get back to you 100% of the time. Anyways, it's a great community. You should join it.
Mad Vegan says he appreciates the cutting room floor, and I said, I know, right? Yeah, there's so much that Wes pools together every week, or almost every single week. Every once in a while, he's out of town or something weird, but it's like you could almost do your own show off of it. There's so much information.
100%. There's 100% enough info to do multiple shows down there. So. We don't do a lot of hardware stories on here. We like to focus on gaming. So all the hardware news is on there. We don't do like metaverse and
right here.
like
it's actually right here.
Industry.
Let me let me switch back to the
I don't see it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is
Anyway.
what it looks like. And then with the gaming, everything we don't talk about's on there. So, like, obviously, admittedly, we have a very high standard about the games that we talk about. We try to only cover things that we are interested in. All the other stuff, and not to say that this is bad stuff, but the majority of like standalone games and all of this is it's in our notes. We just don't talk about it. It's at the bottom.
Yep.
And there's always like 30 different articles on gaming alone down there. But yeah, no, it's a good one-stop shop to let you know everything that happened in the VR bubble over the course of the last 7 days. So check it out, ladies and gents. And with that said, friends, I think that's our show. I'd like to thank you all once again for watching for Ruuts, and I'm Wes. I'm all flustered here, Ruuts. For Ruuts, I'm Wes. We'll see you on Saturday. Bye now.
Take it easy.